Hello, second grade Smarties, and welcome to Holiday Word Problems video number 4. So, yesterday we did some holiday word problems and we discovered that all 4 problems were subtraction problems. Let's see what kind of problems we are going to do today. All right, let's start with this jolly little snowman right here. It said Tim made a snowman which was 34 centimeters tall. The next day, it had melted 11 centimeters. How tall is the snowman now? This problem sounds very similar to one of our problems from yesterday. We have some snow melting, but let's go back and read it again. It said Tim made a snowman which was 34 centimeters tall. The next day, it had melted 11 centimeters. How tall is the snowman now? So, Smarties, let's think about this story. Tim made a snowman, and the snowman started at 34 centimeters tall. It melted 11 centimeters. So, if something is melting, does that mean it's getting bigger or smaller? It's getting smaller. So, are we adding or subtracting? We're subtracting. All right. So, if we are subtracting, what is our whole? What is the number we are starting with? We are starting with 34 for the 34 centimeters. And how many centimeters of the snowman melted? 11. Do you see, my little second grade Smarties, why it's important to circle those important numbers and underline those keywords? It helps us when we go to solve the problem. All right, now it's time for us to solve our problem. We have 34 minus 11. So we're going to start in the tens place, right? No, we always start in the ones place when we are adding and subtracting. So starting in the ones place, we have 4. Can we take away 1? Absolutely, we can. If we take away 1, we will have 3 ones left. Now I go to my tens place. I have 3 tens. I'm going to take away 1 10, and I have 2 tens left. How tall is Tim's snowman now? 23, and we got to make sure to label it. So look at this label right here. It is 23 centimeters tall. We always label our total. We always label what it's asking us to label in our word problems. All right, let's go down below our snowman to the word problem with the beautiful palm trees. It says Santa has 95 elves. After Christmas, 83 of them go on holiday to Hawaii. How many elves do not go on holiday? So let's go back. Santa has 95 elves. After Christmas, 83 of them go on holiday. How many elves do not go on holiday? So how many elves did Santa start with? What is our whole number, Smarties? 95. So in the North Pole, there are 95 elves. After Christmas, 83 of them leave to go on holiday to Hawaii. So if they are leaving, are we losing some elves or are we getting more elves? We are losing some elves. They're going to come back, but they are leaving to go on holiday. So if they are leaving, does that mean that we are going to be adding more elves or taking away some elves? We're going to be taking away. So we had 95 elves. How many of those elves went on holiday? 83. So that is the part that we are taking away from our whole. The part that is left is how many elves stayed at the North Pole. I'm also going to show this as a model. So I'm going to draw 95 because sometimes drawing a model can help us solve problems. So I have 95, so 9 10, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 10s, and 5 1s. 3, 4, 5. And I am taking away 83. I am going to start with my ones place. I have 5 ones in 95, and I'm going to take 3 ones away. So 1, 2, 3. And then I go to my tens place. I have 9 tens, and I'm going to take away 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in my ones place, I had 2 ones left, and I had 1 10 left. How many elves stayed in the North Pole? We had 12 elves. 12 elves stayed in the North Pole. All right, let's go on to our next problem with our reindeer. It says Santa is on his way home after delivering all the presents. The total distance of his journey was 189 miles. He has already traveled 163 miles. How many more miles does he have to go? All right, so this is really tricky because the first time I'm hearing that, I'm thinking it sounds like I need to add, but I always know with a word problem, I need to go back and underline key words and circle my numbers that are part of my word problem. So let's read this again. Santa is on his way home after delivering all the presents. The total distance of his journey is 189. So if his total is 189, that means that 189 is going to be our whole number. He has already traveled 163 miles. How many more miles does he have to go? So this is really tricky. And I set it up like an addition equation, but we are going to find another way to solve this. So we are going to come up with a subtraction equation. We know our whole number is 189. We know that the part that we do know is that he has traveled 163 miles. Altogether, he has traveled 189 miles, but he still has some miles to go. So just like we talked in number families, in fact families, I'm sorry guys, when we have an addition equation with 2 parts and a whole, we can also find a subtraction equation using those same parts and whole. So with our subtraction equation, we are going to start with our whole and take away the part that we know to find how many miles Santa has left. So it's really hard for us to solve the problem this way, but we're going to try it. We're going to try something new. Are you ready? So starting in our ones place, we always start in our ones place. What is 9 ones minus 3 ones? 6 ones. Now I can move to my tens place. I have 8 tens, and I'm going to take away 6. How many tens will we have? We will have 2 tens. And I have 100, and I'm taking away 100. How many hundreds do I have left? 0. How many more miles does Santa have left? 26 miles. So we were able to come up with an addition equation and a subtraction equation to find the number of miles Santa had left. All right, and our last one with some carolers. It says Tim raised $95 carol singing and his sister raised 51. How much more did Tim raise than his sister? Ooh, that word than tells me I'm doing what, Smarties? I'm going to compare. So Tim raised $95 singing and his sister raised $51. How much more did Tom raise than his sister? So here is what I'm going to do. I am going to draw Tim's. Tim raised $95. So I'm going to draw 9 tens. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His sister raised 51. So I'm going to draw 51. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 1. So we know that Tim raised more money than his sister. Let's start in our ones place. How many more ones does Tim have than his sister? He has 4 more ones, 4 more dollars than he does his sister in the ones place. Let's look at our tens place. Here's what is the same, and here is what is different. So Tim made 4 tens and 4 ones more than his sister. So he made $44 more than his sister. That one is really tricky. Anytime that we see that word than, that means that we are going to compare our numbers. We could have also made a subtraction problem. We know that our big number was 95. Tim made $95. His sister only raised 51. When I subtract, this is going to tell me how many more dollars Tim made than his sister. So I start in my ones place. I had 5 ones. Take away 1 is 4 ones. We did that up here. We had 9 tens. His sister only made 5 tens. So Tim made 4 more tens than his sister. So there are so many different ways to solve problems. I solved it by drawing a picture. It helped me to see my numbers working together. But you have to find a strategy that works best for you. Maybe making an equation works best for you. Maybe you can solve that problem in your head. Those are awesome strategies to help you solve problems. But remember, it is okay to make mistakes. That is why we learn all of these different strategies so we can solve these problems. All right, Smarties, remember to always keep that growth mindset. Good learners do hard things. And I will see you tomorrow with another holiday word problem video. Happy learning, Smarties.